Center Babafemi Ojudu. My name is Dimeji, and from now till about 45 minutes or thereabout, we'll be talking about development in his home state, Ekiti State. You're welcome on the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Now, the major thing that is happening in Ekiti State now for more than 3 weeks is that sale of fuel in that state fuel is not being sold in Ekiti because of a misunderstanding between Governor Fauci and petrol marketers in that state. All effort to resolve that seem not to be working because the marketers and Governor Fauci seem not to be agreeing on anything. What is your understanding of this situation? I know you must have been following development in that state. What is your understanding of the situation?
It is very sad and it is very needless to have this kind of situation in our state. The state, even before this crisis, is already crying for help. It's in the throes of debt, and now you have this. One of the major economies, and there are very few in the state, is the petrol economy, because people have to move around, they have to power their generators, transportation, and all of that, and that is what has been paralyzed. Outside of the petroleum economy and private schools and which other one, maybe sawmill, there is no other economy in the whole of that state, and that is what has been paralyzed for almost 4 weeks now. It's very sad. I have seen some photographs, I've seen some people on the street selling petrol in jerry cans, in bottles at this age and time. For me, it is just needless. We are adding to the misery of the people. Yeah.
Now, the governor says it is about ensuring safety. I remember when he started, he claimed that some of these petrol marketers build filling stations very close to primary schools and residential areas. But there are also those who say it is about increasing the IGR of the state. Why do you think Governor Fauci is on this course?
For me, I don't even think it's any of those things. It is sheer madness. If you want to improve the security of life and property, there are better ways to do it. You can invite them to a meeting. You can dialogue with them. You can. There are a lot of things that can be done by a sensible government to ensure that the life and property of the people are protected. What I see is sheer madness. It is sheer madness to wake up and set talks, after established businesses, to wake up and start demolition without discussion of any kind, without even calling them for dialogue. In a state, like Ekiti, where there is nothing happening in terms of commercial activities, it's just, for me, application of sensible rulership or governance. I've dialogued with some of the people who are involved. I've even seen CFO, for this same purpose of setting up petrol stations, signed by him in his first coming, in his own signature. You signed that those things should be built when you first came. Now, in your second coming, you are saying it is legal. Didn't you know that this was illegal when you first signed at that time? I just can't understand. Now, the same man who thinks and canvassed that is helping people, having seen the trouble he has caused, is now running to governors who are neighbors to come and intervene on his behalf. Those ones are calling us and say, what is happening in the Ekiti state? We are trying to explain to them that this whole thing is needless. It is needless. You have sent so many people, thousands of people in Ekiti now into penury. Some of these people who own these filling stations have gone to borrow to set up these businesses. Some have to, sell other property they have in other parts of the country to come home and set up these businesses. Now look at what you have done to them. Orishabo Badlegbemi, female, you have not been able to add any single business to the business of the people since you got in there. I just came back from Calabar on a trip with the acting president. I could see industrial park. I could see a massive, garment industry. I could see a pharmaceutical industry. I could see a rice mill. I could see, a plant where, that's ongoing, where they will produce seedlings for rice plantations. In 2 years of governance, just like you, I can't see anything near that, anything close to that in the Ekiti state. You cannot point to anything other than a bridge to nowhere that you are constructing. For me, this is shocking. Again, it's not as if we didn't see this coming. We warned the people of Ekiti that what you are embarking on, the journey you are embarking on, is a journey of self-destruction. And here we have it now. There is no clearly thought out program, no agenda, no vision. The government has no focus. I don't know. And 2 years in the life of a state, 4 years in the life of a state means a lot. Every other person across the country, they've gone far beyond us. Take a trip down to Kebbi State. As I'm talking to you, Kebbi has enlisted 80,000 farmers on the Central Bank Federal Government Outgrowers project of rice and wheat. This same government was just 2 years old. Their allocation from the federal allocation is also not, it's just almost at par with that of Ekiti State. But you have people who are listening, you have people who are thinking, and they have put programs together to say, look, we must ameliorate the suffering of our people. Farmers are going to the farm producing rice. As at last harvest in Kebbi State, they have done 3 million tons of rice paddy, and they collaborated with Lagos to mill it and to sell to the public. The entire quantity of rice consumed in Nigeria per annum is about 12 million tons. If a state has taken 3 already and they are still doing more, that has become a big economy. They will harvest rice, they will plant wheat, harvest wheat, plant rice again. And they're doing that just within 1 year. 3 seasons, 3 harvests in 1 year. We all have the right, every state in Nigeria has the right to go to Central Bank and take from this.
Let's go back to the issue of the
Yes.
petrol. When you move around the streets of Ado-Ekiti now, you see a new kind of, an imagined kind of business, which is street hawking of petrol.
Yes.
You see people hawking petrol
Yes.
in traffic jams. You see people.
I've even been told reliably by somebody close to him that he has vowed that he will allow it to be like that for a long time to come. That he prefers that his boys are selling petrol in jerry cans than all these big people who are selling in filling stations. And that for me is even dangerous. We are asking for disaster. On the road, on the street, you are selling petrol, such a combustible material in jerry cans. Do you know what that can lead to? It's uncalled for, it's unheard of, It is not something that anybody should dream for a society that it governs.
Now, the people now go to Akure to buy petrol.
Can you imagine that?
With motorcycles and all of
Yes.
that. Now, when you see these, how does it make you feel?
I feel very sad. An average fuel station, we have at least about 10 staff, working at the pump stations, as managers, and then there are also those who are the one, bringing the trucks, supplying the petrol and all of that. Now you have deprived all of those people means of living, means of their livelihood. Then, as time goes on, those ones who are selling on the street will now adulterate. We now put adulterated petrol in your car, in your motorcycle, in your generator, and all kinds of things, which will lead to other problems. And people are looking on as if it is normal. This is not normal.
Now, the last time I interviewed the president of Nupeng, he
Yes.
said that he threatened that Nupeng will shut down Ekiti State,
Yes.
business activities in Ekiti State. And he did say that, let me use his own words,
Yes.
that Governor Afarashi is a man who has no respect for constitutional authority
Yeah.
and principles of dialogue. Do
Yes.
you agree with these?
I totally agree. The man wakes up and do what he likes, on a daily basis. If he wakes up happy, he will go out and distribute cheeseballs to people on the street or cake. If he wakes up sad, he will take a bulldozers and begin to demolish people's houses and businesses. That is the kind of government we have in the Ekiti State. It's not a government that can envision a society that runs, in an orderly manner. It's a government of the spur of the moment, So everybody knows in Nigeria, he wakes up, it's either you wake up abusing Buhari or wake up condemning other governors or condemning the president and the federal government. Meanwhile, in the small enclave where you are governing, you have not shown any reason why, whatever you say should be respected. So, Nupeng is very right. I spoke to my friend and brother who is governor in Osun. He's meeting with them. It is sad what Ekiti have been turned into. He's meeting with them, trying to see how we can resolve. But the problem again, as you have pointed out, is that it's not a man you dialogue with. It's not a man who respects agreement. It's not a man who thinks constructively. He just does things as he deems fit at that particular moment. He says things now, and now after he will say something contradicting what he has said earlier. And he doesn't care. He doesn't see it as absurd. So what the entire governance in the Ekiti as we have it now is a joke. It's an absurdity.
Now, one of the things the new president said is that he called on the federal government to intervene.
Yes.
You work in the presidency,
yes.
So you would know, are there plans
well,
the federal government to
as I said,
wade into this?
As I said, I have dialogued with the governor of Osun, who has assured me that he's going to wade in. We want to see how far he has gone, then we can take it on from there. We just want to see what neighbors can do to wade in and try and solve this problem. If they are not able to handle it, then of course the federal government will then take it on from there.
If you were to advise both sides,
yes,
the governor and the petrol marketers,
yes,
how would you advise them to resolve this?
Of course, restore order. Let them continue their businesses and then compensate them for what you have destroyed. If they establish those stations illegally without having the permission of the government, without having a certificate of occupancy from government, then you can begin to quarrel with them. I do not support a situation whereby you build a petrol station near a school or close to a residential area. But again, what was the government doing when it approved this because of this? They were not just there one day. It took time for them to construct, and there's nobody that should be able to construct a filling station or a building without taking permission from the government, without getting the approval of the government. If all of this had happened, then you now see the danger of their operation. Then of course you have to compensate them and move them somewhere else. And you do that gradually, not waking up in the morning and setting thugs after them, smashing their machines, smashing their buildings, and then you then follow it up with a demolition squad. If they are not strong-hearted, many of them could have gone and committed suicide.
Now, petrol marketers are not the only people that Governor Fauci will be taking on.
Yes.
I remember when he came, he had problems with private school owners, and then after that, tipper owners, and after that, borehole drillers, and
yes,
then now petrol market. Why do you think this seems to be becoming the style, the governor's style? Why do you think it's like that?
When you have
why is he fighting everybody?
Again, for me, I think it's psychological and psychiatric. I think, and many of us have canvassed this over time, that to give responsibility of the management and of the affairs of a council, of a state, of a federal establishment to an individual, they have to undergo psychiatric test. If you do, then we know exactly those who are qualified. Anybody who acts and behave the way he does ought not to be allowed to govern a state, to govern any community at all. You pick up fight with everybody, you are quarreling with all, you are not paying the salary of traditional rulers, you are abusing people every day, you are wishing people dead. You are followed around by thugs who are unleashing terror on people in a society with rules and laws governing the conduct of affairs. It's just not right. You turn that space into a conquered environment. In a democracy, that is not done. It's not allowed. So I think we brought this upon ourselves. But again, it's like when a madman loses his his mother, you don't look on and allow the man to roast the mother and eat the dead body. We have to intervene. People have to intervene. The elites of the state have to intervene. The traditional rulers have to intervene. The youths have to intervene. All of us will have to say, no, this thing must not continue the way it is. Something has to be done.
Talking about the elite,
yes,
I remember interviewing someone who says that Governor Fauci is able to do some of the things he does because there are no people really standing up to him. In fact, he calls it conspiracy of silence.
Yes.
You're one of the elite from that state. Do you agree with that?
Do
you think the elites are doing enough?
Well, the elites will not be doing enough. Again, how many elites do we have in the state? everyone